All right, I think I got it now. I am recording the stream and streaming to TradingView. Looks okay. Sorry about that, TradingView people, for the technical glitches just before the show here. Looks like I am streaming live on TradingView, so welcome everybody, whoever is watching this live. Don't imagine many people will be, because it's not like I have a ton of followers on TradingView. Close to 1,000, but of course everybody's got different schedules and has different preferences of who they view, etc., etc. Anyways, let's get started with this week's update. Just want to double check on all of the things here. I think I've got better resolution for you guys on TradingView, so I think you are going to be able to see my price points, etc., etc. I know somebody noted last week it was a little bit blurry, so I am doing something a little bit differently here this week, and so a little bit rusty with the intro setup, and that's why there was me popping on the screen then popping off again, and etc., etc. Anyways, we'll try this out. It might be just a tad choppy looking at the stream right now, but I think this is about the best I can get it, and hopefully it will do justice for this week's update. So let's talk about what we're going to cover in this video. First of all, why I closed my short positions. I know several of you saw me take short positions for the first time, and I was profitable on all of those short positions. However, they were quick. So last night I opened a short on, what was it that I opened a short on? Solana, yes. And actually accidentally opened a short twice and then closed it out early this morning and took my profits. I'm going to show you why I closed that short position out, just probably temporarily, because it looks like we are going to have more selling pressure underway over the course of the next couple weeks or so. And we'll talk about that and why, what I'm seeing on the charts that makes me believe that, and where we go from here. Of course, the title of this video, at least on TradingView so far, I don't think I'm going to name it differently on YouTube, is what is the freaking title of the video? Hang on a second, guys. I'm all a mess. Oh, will Bitcoin do the double bottom thing? All right. So we're going to talk about why that is a strong possibility. Then a little bit of housekeeping here. Let me jump to my notes, and of course, I have this video on streaming on TradingView, so I can skirt that 20-minute time cap. And it looks like we probably will go a little bit longer on this video as well. All right, so you may have noticed I am starting to make a few more trades, including shorts, if you're subscribed to my website. And I have done 100% so far successfully with the short traders. The trend is our friend, so it's easy if you can recognize, it's easier if you can recognize the overall trend and just go with it. Despite what my bias is regarding crypto, and I am a long-term bull, sometimes it is hard to go against that bullish sentiment, as you have seen from me in the past. Doubting the head and shoulders, etc., etc. I am an uber bull long term. However, we have to set aside our biases and perspectives. Traders are all about making money, and you can't make money if your spectacles are clouded with a certain view or bias. So we're trying to set that aside and just make good trades based upon technical analysis. And so if you want to see those trade alerts for the time being, everybody, I'm offering free trade alerts at studom.us or studamus.com. Either one will get you there, and you'll be able to pick up all my free trade alerts. As you guys have noticed, I have posted less here on TradingView. That's just because I am wrapped up in other content creation, and there's only so much I can do during the course of a week. And I do love my summers here in the Midwest, and so I take less time staring at a computer screen, though that will begin to pick up this fall. I'll begin to post more trade alerts and more content. All right, so that is a little bit about the housekeeping portion. A few more points here. Since I'm transitioning a lot of my trading fund and strategy anyways, and since I do all of my videos live, there's no editing here. I just talk live. Whatever mistakes I make go on the video. I just don't feel like going back and editing all of these videos in a way that makes them perfect. In fact, side note, not to get too philosophical on you, but isn't that what's wrong with the world today? Everybody brushes up all of their mistakes and makes everything look perfect, and the more perfect it seems like everybody makes their life out to be, the more imperfect it appears the world gets on a geopolitical level. That's kind of the irony of social media and Instagram, and everybody just making themselves look like they are living the dream instead of just allowing full transparency. We cover up and play make-believe, and then now we live in a make-believe world. It's just everything seems fake. So why am I getting down these rabbit trails? Since I'm going through this process of transferring over my funds from, for instance, on KuCoin, my trading account to my futures account, so that I can do number one, leverage trades, so that I can do shorts, and etc. I figured, you know what? I might as well walk through these processes with you. We're all learning together. That's really the point of this channel. Is I kind of speak to the newer traders in terms of technical analysis. Only I don't have a lot of how-to videos. So that being said, I'm going to start creating some how-to videos, and so you'll see a new playlist if you're subscribed here at YouTube, and it'll just be called how-tos, and I'll do stuff like how to trade futures on KuCoin, how to short, how to leverage trade. I mean, a lot of you already know how to do this, and that's fine. That's why I'm making them separate videos, and you can just skip over them if you want. I'll also do stuff like how to draw these, which way am I pointing here? How to draw these, descending wedges, these channels, these ascending wedges, trend lines. You see all sorts of stuff I have going on. And I've covered this a little bit in the past, but I haven't really titled the video appropriately so that as people type in their searches in YouTube or wherever they come across the video, you just kind of have to watch all of my videos. I think I have some that state something to the effect that I'm going to do some live technical analysis, and so I teach during those while I'm doing that. But I am going to start to label these videos how-tos, and that way on my website or YouTube or wherever you're at, you can do a quick search for how-tos and just see the different categories. And I'll try to do some technical analysis videos as well, because one of the things I'm going to show you how to do too is import-export lists. You see these lists over here. Well, you can't see it on this view, but I have all these lists, and I'm going to show you how to import, export lists. And during the process of importing, like for instance, my KuCoin futures trade list, there's only certain coins that you can long, short, leverage on KuCoin. So I want to have those lists appropriately denoted in TradingView. So I've had to figure out how to import a list of those coins. I'm going to show you how to do stuff like that. All right. So the point being, not to get long in the tooth, but I always do. We will start to do some of those videos, and so look for those how-to videos soon. And then I'm going to create a separate video here so that I don't run all of my content together in these weekly updates. So look for a video that will cover my Studamus trade tracker soon. My trade tracker, if you guys are not aware, is this spreadsheet, which I share in all of my descriptions. All right, waiting for it to load. I'm going to zoom it up here to 150%. And of course, everything is super slow because I'm doing 50 things at once here, really taxing my video card hard and my CPU. Anyways, you can see in this trade tracker, which you will find in the description, except on TradingView, because I will get blacklisted if I put any of this content there. I can only say it in the video. And then you guys come over to my website. I can say that, and you can find all of this. But you'll see my open trades, which include longs and shorts. I've just added this column or this row. And so I will post open short trades here, as well as closed trades. And you guys will see all of my history. And so right now I'm a big loser. But you can see here, I'm getting more green here. All right. And I'm going to start entering more trades. I'm just kind of dipping my toes in the water at this point. Not being too aggressive. But you can see I've done quite well. The most recent trades are at top. So down here, I just closed a bunch of short trades. Where's my marker here? There it is. All right. So these last 4 have all been successful on the short side. And I will continue to do short and long trades. And you can see the most recent trades up here. So over the course of the last couple weeks, I've had 7 winners and only 1 loser. So my record is getting better, guys. Just hang with me. Once this thing turns positive, and I want to make sure, my goal is to turn it positive in a bear market. So I don't want to just be successful like everybody else can be in a bull market. That's easy to do. These bear markets are what make good traders and great traders. And if we can all learn these processes together, we can all become better traders. And that really is my goal. And there's no better climate to make a good trader than a bear market like this. Okay, with that long-winded intro out of the way, let's take a look at what's going on in the crypto space. All right, here is Bitcoin. We will get to that chart. What we're going to do is start from the top, as we always do on my leaders list. And by the way, guys, I can export this list as well and put it in the description. I can even do that on TradingView. And maybe that's one of the things I will do, close up this video here. Of course, I can't add content. That's one of the downsides to my streaming on TradingView. I have to put the title in the description ahead of time, and I can't add content after the fact. But you guys know where to get that, right? All right, so let's get going here. We start with the dollar. Now, you guys know that I had drawn this M pattern a couple weeks ago. In the last video, I took it away because I wasn't quite sure, dropping below this 50-day moving average, that the M pattern would continue to play out. But sure enough, 3 weeks ago, I had spotted this because of the descending wedges. And I thought to myself, if we do pop up, I guarantee we will find ourselves a little bit of resistance where we made our last high right around 108, 109 mark. And look at where we're at today, guys. Today is Friday. I don't have my date because I've got this set up differently. Friday, August 19th. And we're right around 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, if you want to be more accurate. And the dollar is pushing higher. I think it's going up here, guys. I think it's going to make this double top pattern, as I stated 3 or 4 weeks ago, where it will find resistance. And provided the Fed does what they're expected to do, which is a 50 basis point hike on the next one, then we hit that as resistance and hopefully come back down. I say hopefully because that's good for the markets and the crypto space, right? So we look at the dollar and the VIX in conjunction because they are the key indicators, and look what the VIX has done. All right, we popped up, hit our heads on this level of resistance, which is definitely significant resistance here. Once we broke this support, I knew it would act as resistance. It is, and we are continuing. Now we've broken out of this downward channel, so it is possible that we try to make our way up in terms of fear. This is fear. Something happens and we pop back through that. I'm not sure. But if there's no big event, then look for us to do more sideways action, kind of like this. All right. The VIX will continue to move sideways over the course of the next, 3 weeks, months. And we'll have kind of sideways action here, all right? Unless they can generate up some new fear narratives. This is good. The VIX is good. So the VIX would be the predominant indicator, meaning that if we do go sideways with the VIX and the dollar does hit that double top and come back down, then the markets can continue their upward momentum. Right now, what is happening is the markets have hit, you can see right here, the markets have hit some form of resistance. Well, the S&P has anyways. All right. So let me go ahead and delete this circle. It's no longer relevant to our talk, and I want to make sure that we're focused on the content that I'm focusing on. So the S&P has come up, hit its head on number one, a trend line that has formed since January of this year. And you can see we hit it again in March and now are up against it again here in August, along with the 200-day moving average. So S&P is doing exactly as you would expect it to do, just not breaking right through that. It's time for a bit of a pullback, and this correlates with the data that we are seeing on the dollar and the VIX. All right, now I have a 7% pullback there. Where am I getting that? I just anticipated, based upon where I think the dollar will go and the VIX, that most of the market here is due for around 5 to 7% pullback. Now 7% here I have marked on the chart. 6 would be the top of this neckline, and the 100-day moving average would be down here around 4%. All right, and if we look at the other stock market indexes, you can see the NASDAQ, which has completely been on fire here, is due for a pullback, and from its current price level to the 200-day moving average is right around 5%. All right, so the S&P coming to the 100-day moving average is right around 4% at its current price. Actually, a little bit less than that right today, because we are pulling back right around 4%. NASDAQ 4%, 5% to the 200-day moving average, and the Dow Jones Industrial to the, let's go to the 100-day moving average, right around 4%. All right, and so you can see the Dow has broken above that 200-day moving average, ran right into resistance here. And where is that coming from? That comes from this whole area that I've circled here. I started doing another video last night, couldn't get the graphics right, and so this is a different setup, and anyways, I had drawn that last night when I tried to do a video and then just decided not to publish it. Okay, so then Moving on down the line, we have U.S. oil, which is staying in this channel. Now remember, guys, as long as energy continues up, that does not bode well for the markets. The markets will go generally the opposite direction, that energy. And U.S. oil is one of those predominant energy indexes that I like to track just to show us where our energy prices are going to go. Now, it hit the bottom of this channel, which I expected several months ago. You remember a video, I said it's going to come down to the bottom of this channel. Now, what's going to happen from here? Well, actually, let's just do this real quick. I'd be curious, from our current level to the 200-day moving average, which is above, look at that, right around 5%. Okay, so my current theory is that we continue to head up to this 200-day moving average. We hit our heads on that again. It acts as resistance, brings us back down to test the bottom of this channel, and possibly we break out to the bottom side of this channel and then continue either sideways or sideways slash downwards. All right, that would be good for the markets. All right, and is definitely a possibility. All right, I have various reasons for believing that, which I won't get into right here today, but that all coincides with the data that I'm pulling from these other charts. All right, I mentioned the NASDAQ 100 stocks above the 200-day moving average. The arrow here is where I sensed we capitulated. We are, with this red circle here, getting into overbought territory. That is a key indicator. So we want to come back down. In other words, what I'm saying, guys, is we are due for a pullback in the broader markets. And when we pull back in the broader markets, that does affect our crypto space. Several other indicators which lead us to believe that could happen is our Euro-dollar futures contract. You can see here an inverse head and shoulders pattern. What does this mean? Euro-dollars is essentially kind of an index that I use to track the global prediction of future Fed price action. All right, so when we are descending into the abyss here, that is the global markets idea that the Fed is going to aggressively raise interest rates. All right, and you can see here, if I zoom out, I'm going to go to the weekly so I can zoom out rapidly. For the first time since way back, I mean, we broke this several times quickly, but way back here in 1989, we have broken to the downside of this ascending trend line. That is pretty incredible, guys. That is history. We are witnessing history in the making. I don't know entirely, I'll be honest with you, what that means for the future. I don't think it means good things for the future, if I'm being quite honest, but I don't want to get all apocalyptic on you. At the current moment, and I'm doing more short-term to mid-term analysis, not longer-term analysis, not global macroeconomic analysis. At the current situation, it looks like the Fed is going to continue to ease up on those interest rates. Once we break this neckline here, that is sort of confirmation of what the global position is on the next Fed interest rate hike, which right now expectation is right around 50 basis points. So if we get 50 basis points or possibly less, we break to the upside. I think it will be 50 basis points on the next, and then we'll see what happens in the future. U.S. Treasury, the 2-year yield is sort of the same story. When we roll over to the downside, that is the Fed essentially lessening their hawkish language and action, price action in terms of rate hikes to the well, not to the downside, but just, you know, we've had 75, 75, 75, and now 50. So I can expect this 2-year treasury to kind of roll over. All right, enough said about the broader markets. Again, if I'm expecting a pullback in the broader markets, that is going to drag Bitcoin with it. So let's take a look at what's happening here with Bitcoin. And what I want to focus on, let's actually just start here on the total charts, all right? What I want to focus on here is our RSI, all right? You can see our RSI is sort of a lead indicator here. We've broken to the downside of this ascending trend line, which has been ascending since the middle of June. All right, so that coincides with these channels that I have drawn on all these total charts. All right, and the total chart here is all of the crypto cap. You can see we have come to the bottom side of this ascending channel. All right, so the question is, what's going to happen here? All right, now Bitcoin has already kind of given us a clue, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Total 2 is the same situation. You can see I've drawn this trend line again since mid-June, and we have ascended upwards. We have now broken to the downside of this ascending trend line in a big way. Additionally, now total 2 is all of the crypto cap excluding Bitcoin. You can see that if we draw a channel here, all right, we have broken to the downside of that channel. I should probably pop on TradingView just to see if there's any live questions here. Let me just pull up this tab. Oh, yeah, there are. Hi, please tell me about Cream token. And can you do ETH coin, BBC coin? All right. I'm not sure that I'm going to do this in this session. This is more a weekly update. Kind of just doing a weekly update here on the broader market perspective. But perhaps in the future, I will start a stream in which you guys can just throw out coins at me and we'll do live assessment. All right. So if you don't mind holding until one of those videos, I'll be more than happy to walk through live technical analysis, and on YouTube I can then upload that and label it as kind of a how-to, and we'll do education on the fly. But for now, I'm just kind of giving you a broader perspective of the overall crypto markets and where I think we're headed. All right, so enough said about that. Let's move on to total 3 here. All right, so total 3, same thing. See this breakdown on the RSI? The RSI kind of is telling us, it's hinting at what has occurred. And actually, last night when I made the video, Bitcoin was still in its channel, and I was suggesting in that video that I did not post that Bitcoin would break to the downside. And that is why, actually, guys, I opened up those short trades and I was successful, because it looked to me, the probability suggested that we could go short with a fair amount of confidence that we would be in the profit. So you can see that this RSI kind of has told a leading story here. We broke to the downside of the RSI, and then we broke to the downside of these channels that you can draw on all of your charts here. Now this is total 3, which is all of the crypto, basically all of the altcoins except for Ethereum and no BTC, of course. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum really quick, and same story there. All right, I don't need to repeat myself. Now let's get into Bitcoin. Now last night, Bitcoin was being a booger. All right, it was being uncertain, as it likes to do, hold everybody in suspense. But what had happened when I was going to post that video, and again, I didn't because of the TradingView glitchiness, and it looks like TradingView videos are still doing okay here. We broke to the bottom side of this RSI. So my suggestion was that the RSI is telling us, that is our first clue that Bitcoin will break down. All right, so now let's get into what happens next. All right. So we have concluded that the broader markets, the stock markets, that is, it was number one, it was due for a pullback, right? And number two, it looks like it's got another 5-ish% downside. All right. And we know that when the broader markets go to the downside, it drags Bitcoin with it, right? At a rate of around 2x, just a rough estimate. All right. Or Bitcoin is 2x of what maybe the broader markets do. And altcoins are 2x of what Bitcoin is. That's just a general rule of thumb. You know, don't hold me fast to that rule, but that's what I have noticed. All right. So you have the broader markets going down at their current rate. Bitcoin likes to double that on the downside or the upside, and altcoins like to double what Bitcoin does. All right. So if we can say that the broader markets are going to drop another 5% for sake of for ease of illustration here, then let's take our current position and say Bitcoin is going to drop another 10% from its current situation. All right. And 10% would take us down here. But that's not really a great... There is support there at 22,000. I mean, I probably have this drawn, actually, guys. Let me just delete this. What I did is I hid all of my supports here. I created... This is another how-to video, I guess, now that I think of it. All right, so on TradingView, what I did is I created a portfolio, and I just called it horizontal lines, and I threw all of my supports and resistance levels in here. And that way I could just easily hide it. I don't know if, can you see that? Yeah, you can. You guys can see that on TradingView. All right. And I can just easily unhide it. See how noisy that gets? All right. So we're currently right on some kind of support to the downside that I had drawn. I don't know where I drew that from. Let's just zoom out and see if we can figure it out. All right. So that's this purple line here. I'm going to go all the way back. All right. So... Okay, so that was a pivot high and pivot low from way back in December of 2020. I don't know what gave me the idea that that was, you know, just tracing back to that. I guess I also drew that. Okay, so I have more pivots. See this, guys? I have more pivots on this particular trend line right here and also right here. All right. And also, all right, so, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, let me stop that. And also, we have another pivot right here. All right, so that definitely is a significant support. That's currently where Bitcoin is resting on its ass, I guess. Oh, I try not to swear too much in these videos because I do have some kids watching me. And yeah, I just want it to be family friendly and appropriate. Now I want to get rid of these freaking circles because my OCD is kicking in. That's why, guys. OCD is kicking in. All right, got to get rid of them. And there they go. All right. So, you know, it's possible Bitcoin could actually go more than that 10%. I have always been of the persuasion that, well, my theory, I don't know if I'm of the persuasion, but I would say it's very possible, if not probable, that Bitcoin does this thing where it forms a double bottom. All right, so over here, our low was around, actually, if I go all the way down here, that's our low. 17,437 I have marked as a support. It might have been a little bit higher depending on what chart you're looking at, what exchange you're tracking Bitcoin on. Anyways, what I wanted to say is it is definitely very possible, if not probable. Where is it? Not forming. I thought I had the marker selected. That we do. I think it's because I got so much stuff going on here, guys. Sorry about that. Let me try the pen. Yeah. Anyways, what I was going to say is we do one of these things where we hit the bottom again, and that would coincide right here with the bottom of this longer trending descending wedge. All right, this is a bullish pattern, but it's a bullish pattern on a very much longer term, like a yearly basis. All right, so if we double bottom on that $17,000 area, then we hit the bottom of this descending wedge again. At that point, we have maybe possibly come to an end of this bear run. Now, I'm not saying that we will break straight out. You know, what's been happening on the altcoin space is we're going sideways like this, you know, for a few months before breaking out. And then when we break out, it's very lackluster. And so we could just, you know, kind of go like this for all the way into next year. But this is indicating bullish price action in one of the future years, possibly next year, maybe mid to end next year. And but it is also possible that we come to this descending trend line, which is very significant. We haven't hit it yet again, and then we pop up. All right, so that is what I'm looking at here. Okay, OCD again. All right, zooming back in. What I mean is when I say we haven't hit it again, guys, get rid of this line. I don't know how many of you will bear through these longer videos. I told one guy told me that he puts it on an audio format and kind of listens to it as a podcast and then just highlights key time areas where he'll come back to and watch later. And that's a good idea. And there are several apps that you can get, not from Google Play Store, of course, because they don't like you closing out YouTube or using YouTube in that way. But I use one called SmartTube Next, which the developer is from Ukraine, and he updates all the time. So you can black out your screen on your Android and still be listening to the YouTube videos. And then there's an app on F-Droid, which is another app store, trustworthy in my opinion. And there's an app called NewPipe. Maybe I should do videos about different apps too that you can use to. Now YouTube would. Actually, I probably can't even say this. YouTube might take this video down. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so I am getting sidetracked like crazy on these. So this is the problem with not having a time cap, is I just go on these long, crazy, out of scope rants. So right now, guys, I am expecting Bitcoin to continue on a midterm basis, to continue its downward trend. You can see the 200 weekly here. I have noted at when I did this video and I typed that in there last night, it was at 23,053. If I zoom out to the weekly now, I believe I have the 200 weekly in there. It's at 23,044. All right, so it's just come down just a bit. All right, back into the daily. Let me hide some of these. Now I'm going to keep the trend lines here. So Bitcoin, again, can form this double bottom. But remember, when we break out of these significant channels, so I have an ascending wedge here and an upwards channel. What we like to do is we like to come back and test the significance of that support, now acting as resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of days you do see Bitcoin rebound a bit, coming up to test the underside of that channel and underside of that wedge before moving further down. All right. So that's kind of the trajectory that I see in place here. All right. And then moving back up or moving sideways across this ascending wedge till we come up, and we have not yet met this line of resistance, which is the downward trend line and is acting as very significant resistance. Once we break to the upside of that, that's a bullish sign. But that could be weeks and even months down the road. And that is my longer term analysis, guys. With that being said, let's do some concluding thoughts here. And we'll get this show closed up. Jumping to my outro. So, guys, if you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to give me a like. And don't forget to subscribe. All right, that only helps me push this content forward in a way that reaches more people. And I have not advertised likes and subscribes a lot because I just haven't. I haven't thought of it. But I would very much appreciate any liking and subscribing on these videos if you enjoy the content. Don't just do it just to, I don't want garbage content pushed forward. And if this is garbage content, don't like it. Don't subscribe. That helps me to know what I'm generating is actually useful for you or not. All right. And as far as trades go, the key indicator this week will be that dollar along with the VIX. Remember, the dollar currently is rising as well as the VIX. All right. They will direct the broader markets. So if they're rising, the markets go down. All right. And then don't forget that Bitcoin follows the action of the broader markets to a more exaggerated level, and altcoins do that even more. All right. I'm going to pop out another video probably maybe today, and I'm going to go over, jump back to our main index here. I'm going to go over some of these on my list. Where's my mouse? Gosh. No. All right. Go some of these on my next trade list. All right. So I have some good short setups, which I've already utilized. And I'm going to tell you why I stopped out of Solana real quick. Hit support. I'll explain some of this in another future video, which I'm going to make much quicker than this one. I'm going to try to be better at these videos. I'm more efficient. All right. And my last point here is, guys, for all my content, including free trade alerts, head over to that website, studom.us or studamus.com. And you'll see that I'm making more frequent trade alerts, both on the long side and the short side. And you'll have access to all that content, not missing a thing. All right. Enjoy your day, guys. Peace, y'all. I'll talk to you in the next video, which will be coming soon. Where's my mouse again? See you guys.